Hey guys, this is the Unit 2 Algebra review. If you can do these problems, you're going to be very successful on your test tomorrow. Here we go. I'm going to number these. This is number 1. And here we go. The graph of this function is shown on the grid. Which inequality best represents the domain of the part shown? So we know the domain is our x. And so we can go up here. When it crosses the x, we can see that it crosses at -9. So we can mark these two off. And we can see that this circle is open. So we know that means it is only less than. There's the less than symbol. And we can see this one hits at 2. So therefore your answer is F, because they have the symbol switched on G. Okay? Let's look at the next one. This table represents some points on the graph of a linear function. Which function represents the same relationship? Well, we have a table, and that means we're going to use stat edit. So I'm going to pull up the calculator. Let's move it over here. And it's already cleared, so I'm going to hit stat. I'm going to hit enter. And now I'm going to put in my table. I have a negative 7.5, enter. I have negative 3.5, enter. I don't think that did that. Let's go look at that. Negative 3.5, enter. Then we have a negative 1. Then we have a 2. And we have a 3.5, enter. Okay, let's go over here to y. We have 12. We have 0. We have negative 7.5. Let's see. And then we have negative 16.5. Dang it. Enter. And then we have negative 21. We're going to hit stat, tab, 4, and enter all the way down. And we can see that our slope is negative 3 and our y-intercept is negative 10.5. And that is exactly what we have here. So our answer is A. Let's go to the next one. And we are looking at the graph of a linear function on this grid. And we want to know which equation is represented by the graph. So we need to convert everything to the magic y equals mx plus b. So first we need to convert each equation to that. Y equals. And to do that, for this one, we need to minus 7 on both sides. So that will go away. We're going to have y equals negative 3 x minus 4 minus 7. The next one, we're going to subtract 1 on both sides. And that gives us y equals negative 3x plus 2 minus 1. because that goes away. This one we have plus 4 on both sides. So we're going to have y equals 3x plus 7 plus 4. That goes away. And the last one, we're going to add 2 to both sides, and we're going to have y equals 3x minus 1 plus 2. Now we've moved them all over and we have it as y equals. So we are now going to use the y equal button on the calculator. To make our job easier, we're going to look at the math on the first one. And I can see a negative 3x is going to give me, negative 3 times x is going to give me negative 3x. Therefore, we know the slope is negative, which this slope is going down, and it is negative. So it could be maybe this one. Negative 3 times x for the second one will also give me a negative slope. So it could be that one. For c, we have 3 times x, and that would be a positive slope. So we know it can't be c. And y equals 3 times x will also be positive, and it can't be that. So now I can only check these two answers. So I'm going to pull my calculator up, and I'm going to type it in just like we wrote. I'm going to hit the y equal button at the top left, and then I'm going to put in negative 3, parenthesis, x minus 4, close the parenthesis, minus 7. Then I'm going to hit graph. And it looks like it goes through 5, and it crosses the exit right before the 2. So that looks awesome. I love that one. Let's look at the second one. I'm going to hit y equals, and I have negative 3 times x plus 2 minus 1. I'm going to hit graph, and I can see that looks nothing like my graph. So I know my answer is A. Let's look at the next one. Unit 2, 8.2c. We can see that Antarctica discovered a warm sea current under a glacier that is causing it to melt. The ice shelf of the glacier has a thickness of approximately 450 meters. So I'm going to write y equals mx plus b, because that's what I'm looking for. And I know that this is going to start at 450. So the glacier has a 450 start, so that is my B. And it is decreasing at an average rate of 0.06 per day. There's my word, per. So y equals, and since it's decreasing, it'll be a negative 0.06x plus 450. So I need to look for a negative 0.06x. That's not it. That's not it. Here's one. And here's one. But we don't need to distribute this. So that's not it. Our answer is A. A looks just like what we wrote, except it's just switched. Okay, let's look at the next one. Which graph best represents that equation? So we need to write this as y, let's see, y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to rewrite that over here. I have negative 5y equals negative 6x plus 15. So I need to get rid of the negative 5. So I'm going to divide by negative 5. And if I do it there, I've got to do it all the way across. And that goes away. So now I have y equals negative 6x over negative 5 plus negative 3, because 15 divided by negative 5 is negative 3. So I'm going to put negative 3 here. And now I need to divide negative 6 divided by negative 5. Let's see what we get if we do that on the calculator. I'm going to hit second, quit. And now I can put this in, and I'm going to hit negative 6 divided by negative 5. And I'm going to get a positive 1.2. So y equals 1.2x minus 3. Now I can figure out which one this is. I know it's a negative slope. A positive slope. So therefore, it can't be this one. It can't be A, and it can't be B. And I am looking for a y-intercept of negative 3. And I see it right here. This one doesn't work. Your answer is C. Let's go over the next one. So this would be number 6. So I'm going to write that on here. Here we go. A lifeguard earns $320 per week for working 40 hours plus $12 per hour worked over 40 hours. So a lifeguard can work a maximum of 60 hours per week. Which graph best represents the lifeguard's weekly earnings in dollars for working H hours over 60? So we can see that our y-axis is our dollars, and our x-axis is the number of hours over 40. So let's see which one's right. So I'm going to do some math here so I can figure out how much he makes. So he earns $320 when he works 40 hours. And he gets $12 per hour worked over 40 hours. So let's see which one is right. So I'm going to go up and over and see what we can get. Well, we know it's not going to be H because H is proportional. Because it starts at the origin. We know it's going to be either F or G, as these start at 320, which is his starting point. That is our B. And now we just need to see if he worked 5 hours. Let's see if I have an exact point. Here's an exact point. So I'm going to see if this number works. So if he works, if he gets $12 per hour over, and he works an additional 15 hours, let's see what that number would be. Calculator. And we have 12 times 15. Whoops, 12 times 15. Enter. And that gives us 180. And he already earned 320. That would give us 500. I like this one. Here, if he worked 15 hours, it does not equal 500, so that's not going to work. The answer is G. That involved quite a bit of math, but we figured it out. Okay, let's look at the next one. This graph of the function is shown below. Which ordered pair best represents the location of the y-intercept? Well, let's see. It looks to me like it crosses at -2. So your answer would be G. When x is 0, y is -2. And this was question 7. Let's look at the next one. Okay, what is the 0 of G? Well, hopefully you remember that the 0 is your x-intercept. Okay, so we can see that it crosses the x-axis when x is -6 and y is 0. So your 0 is -6. Let's look at the next one. What is the y-intercept of this line? Well, we have two points. We can put it in stat edit, but I'm just going to look here, and I can see it's right between the 5 and the 6. So my y-intercept is 5.5. Let's look at the next one. Which graph shows a line with an x-intercept of -5? Well, we can see this one crosses at 1, so that's not it. This one crosses at 5, that's not it. This one crosses at 2.5, that's not it. This one crosses at -5. Your answer is A. What value of n makes this equation true? Well, we could solve for n and see which one works. I'm going to use the calculator because that would be the easiest way to do this, because we have this side equals this side. So I'm going to hit y equals and put in those numbers. I know, let's see, I have y equals, and I'm going to put in 4 times 0.5x minus 3 parentheses enter, and now I'm going to put in the other side. I have 0.25. Oops. I have 0.25. I'm sorry. I have x minus 0.25 times 12 minus, gosh, minus 8x. Close the parenthesis. And now I can figure out which one of these answers work by hitting second table. Now, when x is 3, I can see that these two columns are -6 and 6. So we know that's not it. When x is 0, I can see the columns are -12 and -3, and that's not it. Let's go. When x is -9, I can see we have -30 and -30. So your answer is G. We substituted, well, we didn't substitute in, but if you did substitute that in for n, you would see that both sides equal. Okay, let's do it again. Well, this time, I'm not sure if we're going to get an exact answer, so let's just see what we can figure out. So let's do it the same way and see if we can find our number. So I'm going to hit y equals, and I'm going to, first I'm going to hit second plus 712. Get this out of here. Second plus 712. Okay, now we cleared it. Now I'm going to hit y equals, and I'm going to hit 34x plus 95. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to hit 3 parenthesis 14x plus 9 . And let's see what we get. I'm going to hit second table, and I'm going to look for where the numbers get close together. And I can see at 8, they're pretty close, but they're not exact. And then they start getting farther apart. So I'm going to have to solve this one because I can't see exactly what it is. I could hit second. Let's see, I could hit second trace 5. And the lines aren't on there. Okay, there it is. Second trace 5, and we're going to get 8.5. Our number is 8.5. Just so you can see that, we're going to solve for x here. 34x plus 95 equals 3 times 14x plus 9. I'm going to draw my line, and I'm going to distribute first. 3 times 14 is 42. 42x plus 27, because 3 times 9 is 27. So now I'm going to move this 34x over here. And I'm going to get 8x plus 27 plus 95. Now I'm going to move the 27 over here. That goes away. And we get 68 equals 8x. If we divide both sides by 8, we're going to get 68 divided by 8 gives me 8.5. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Okay, it's another one. I'm going to take a chance since I have these that I can look at, and I'm going to put this in the calculator. So I'm going to hit y equals. I'm going to put in 8x minus 3 parenthesis 2x minus 4. Close the parenthesis, enter. And then I'm going to put 3 parenthesis x minus 6. Okay, I'm going to hit second table. And now I'm going to look for 6, and I can see that the numbers are 24 and 0, so that will not work. At 2, I see 16 and negative 12. And now let's go to 30. And I can see at 30, it's 72 and 72. So we know our answer is C. Okay, here's another one. And we have answers to choose from, so I'm going to do it the same method. Here's my calculator. I'm going to hit y equals. I'm going to put in 0.75 parenthesis x plus 20. Close the parenthesis, enter. And now I'm going to put 2 plus 0.5 parenthesis x minus 2. Close it. Now I'm going to hit second table, and I'm going to look for my values. I have a 64. I'll do the positive numbers first. I don't have to scroll. So I have 64, and that does not equal. I have a 56, and we can see that doesn't equal. So now we'll go to the negatives. There's a faster way to do this, but I haven't told y'all, so I'm just going to scroll. And let's see, we have negative 56, and here it comes. And we can see that that equals 27, negative 27 and negative 27. So our answer is negative 56. Answer is J. Let's look at the next one. Okay, which table represents y as a function of x? And what we remember that the x never repeats. Okay, So we can see this repeats. We can see this repeats, and the threes, negative threes, these are all twos. 6, negative 6, 8, negative 8. Your answer is G. Okay, let's look at another one. So this is telling us given f of x equals 6 times 1 minus x, what is the value of f of negative 8? So if they're telling us f of x becomes f of negative 8, we know our x equals negative 8. So we just plug that in. So we have 6 times 1 minus x, and this is going to become 6 times 1, and we have minus x, and this is a negative 8, so this is going to become a positive 8. Or you could write it as 6 times 1 minus negative 8, and of course that becomes a positive, so you can do it that way as well. So 6 times 1 is 6, plus 6 times 8 is 48, and 6 plus 48 is 54. Your answer is 54. We have one left. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Which inequality describes all the solutions to this? Now I'm going to just put this in as an equal sign because I can see that these are all different numbers here. So this should give me my exact number that this would work. So I'm going to hit y equals, and I'm going to put 5 parenthesis 3 minus x, close the parenthesis. Whoops, I put negative. So 3 minus x, close parenthesis, and take the rest off. Then I'm going to go down, and I'm going to put negative 2x plus 6, and delete the rest. And I'm going to hit second table, and of course it's there. So let's see what negative 9 looks like. And at negative 9, our numbers are different, so it can't be negative 9. Let's see, negative 3, they're different. Let's look at 3. They're the same. And 7, they're different. I'm not sure this is going to help us because it is an inequality. So let's just solve it. So we have 5, 3 minus x is less than negative 2x plus 6. So we have 15 minus 5x is less than negative 2x plus 6. So I'm going to move this negative 5x over here, so we're not dealing with the negative. And that's going to give me 3x plus 6. And then we have a 15 over here. So I need to move the 6 over. That's going to give me 3x is greater than 9. So now we have, when we divide by 3 on both sides, we're going to get x is greater than 3. So we know our answer is B. I'm not sure what happened on the calculator part, but this one we need to do by hand. You see if there's any more after this, and there's not. That'll do it for the Unit 2 review. If you can work these problems and understand what I just did, you're going to do wonderful on the test tomorrow. That'll do it. Thank you for watching.